What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Phantom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony, Michelle, and Dina, and we are discussing episode 3 of It. Welcome to Derry.
Ooh.
Listen,
I just want to start out with no, absolutely not.
you know what? That's a
Which
good
part?
starting point.
Which part? Which part?
When I was 13, a friend and I actually got lost in the woods.
No.
This is a no.
That's no.
This is
So, like I was telling Dina before we started recording, anytime I see that fast run, it's a no for me.
Yeah.
When something starts running fast, the way that thing started running fast in the forest, in the woods, no. And then he starts change.
Nope.
Nope.
But also, I ain't going in the woods, so we good.
But I'm also not going to grave sites at night either.
You know,
Well, not as a kid.
or perform rituals, whether
I know about it or not. Right.
That part, yeah.
Listen, there's just okay. First of all,
so the whole episode was a no.
But okay, so let's take this from the top because the episode starts out in 1908, and we see a little kid at a carnival. First of all, that's already sketchy given what story we're talking about. So this little kid is going through looking at all the carnival things. He's listening to the carnival barker talking about it was like the weird and oddities and stuff like that. So when this kid is walking around, he happens to look over to the side. There is a clown, a female clown from the looks over, but a clown with red balloons. And it's like immediately his facial expression changes. No, the moment you look at that and you feel like something is off in your spirit, that tells you need to go find your dad and you need to get the hell out of Dodge. But what do? No, you go into the House of Mysteries?
Of course, because,
that's where you go.
We just got to know things, apparently.
Yeah. Gotta be curious.
And you know what? He's a kid. I can get the curiosity. I can get wanting to look at the strange things. The thing that I wasn't understanding, and maybe it's just me as somebody with common sense, maybe it's just me as a Black child, a Black person who, there are certain things that when you look, Black kids and white kids just do differently. You see something off in the distance in one of the other rooms, and you follow it by yourself.
Yeah.
Now you know enough to be weary when you walk into the room and you see this guy in shadow telling you, come here, come closer, come closer. You taking baby steps and you looking like, I don't want to do this. Well, why the hell are you doing it?
Why are you doing it?
Why? What was something actually pulling you? Because you look like you were doing it of your own free will.
I do. I mean, I wonder about that because he was clearly scared. And it's not like he had to listen to what was that old fragile old man gonna do? Tell your daddy that you wouldn't come here in a haunted house.
Right.
Maybe something was influencing him or he just real dumb.
I don't know, but when he goes up to the guy and the guy, he lights a match and he shows his face as an old guy. He's missing some teeth. He's missing an eyeball. But otherwise, he seems pretty harmless.
Really?
Right?
Harmless.
I'm saying this particular guy because I don't think that was the same guy in the woods. I think
it wasn't. But he was harmless.
But this guy was harmless.
Right, like you literally can just blow on him.
Right.
And he gonna break.
I don't know. It scared the hell out of me.
Because he old with no teeth. Well, we gonna look like when we get old. Because we will have our dentures. The day we don't have our dentures on, we just and then the kids start running.
He had a black space where I was supposed to be.
Sometimes people miss eyes,
That part didn't even bother me because I've seen enough TV where, people were missing an eye and they don't really replace it. That hasn't bothered me. Plus, I've seen The Walking Dead where Glenn's eyeball was literally dangling out of his skull. The blank space is not bothering me. But when the kid runs out of the thing because obviously this man is scared of him now. Okay, now you're scared. He runs out, bumps into his dad. They leave. Dad gives him a slingshot, which is going to be important later on in the story of it because that's how the kids defeat it. You know, they hit him with a what was it? They had melted down some change
Silver.
into some silver change into like a
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
silver
they-
dollar, I think they melted.
yes.
Yeah.
So that the slingshot becomes important later. And I was reading something earlier today, and it was talking about the most recent versions of it where they didn't even have the slingshot. And I was like, I really
don't
do need to
remember.
go back and rewatch those
They
movies.
had
Yeah,
they were
me-
using a bolt gun.
Oh.
They're
Yep.
using the bolt gun
You're right.
that they use for livestock.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
They
They did.
did.
I just remember that.
Okay, but I'm glad they brought the slingshot back because the slingshot is actually important in the original It
Yeah,
story.
it's iconic. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's just because it was the time period of the last It. It was later. I know kids who don't want to be picked on is walking around with a slingshot. Let's
Yeah,
just be
I
honest.
think that
But a
could
bolt
be.
gun makes perfectly sense for children to walk around and play with at this year.
I mean, I
Are there
got
cows
nothing.
in Derry?
I got nothing. I got nothing. But when they're on the way home, this kid and his dad, the car breaks down and he stops on the side of the road. There's a few native children selling water by the side. He goes to buy the water. He doesn't have enough money. And the little girl, basically is like, well, you don't have enough money. You can give me that slingshot. Or at least that's what she infers by looking at it. And then we see in the next scene, they actually become friends. So they're, running around, playing with each other, having a good time. This is where I start having problems. Because obviously this little girl knows that something ain't right about the woods because as they get real close to it and Francis, the little boy, starts running into it, she starts telling him, no, Francis, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Excuse me. Why did you wait until you got so close before telling him, oh no, don't go in there? Yeah. Mm-hmm. As soon as you saw the general direction he was running in, y'all should have stopped about 200 feet back and you should have been like, no, let me tell you something. We don't go into the woods. You didn't have to tell him a monster was in the woods. You could have just said, you know what? We're not allowed, just like when we were kids on my street, our apartments, we could go out and play, but there was like, how you have speed bumps at certain intervals in the apartment complex. We couldn't go past that first speed bump. That was about as far as my mother can see. You couldn't go past that speed bump. You could have told him that, no, we can't go into the woods. We're not allowed. Whatever.
I'm going to defend her. I have a feeling he wouldn't have listened to her anyway because they already established that he's a go for it kind of person when he went into the House of Mysteries.
But this is the thing.
Number two, in her mind, she's not thinking that he doesn't know because she's so used to playing with kids who know. So by the time it registered with her where he was going, she's like, oh, wait, you need to stop.
Okay, I can buy that one. I can buy that excuse.
Because and he was in bliss. Yeah. So he wasn't even.
He wasn't even going to hear her.
He just happy.
Yeah, he was so happy.
In love. So
he was.
Let me run. Like literally left her way behind.
To the forest, girl. Come get me.
Yeah, but the first one that you said, Anthony, I think my thing is not necessarily that he wouldn't have listened to her. Like I was telling Dina, we were talking about it before. I think because she was just like, hey, no, don't go in there. Don't go in there. I mean, she's literally chasing him. They're playing a game of chase. So maybe he is not that he would have just went in there anyway. I think he thought maybe that was part of the game. Like, oh, you can't go in there. And then once he stops, she's going to tag him or whatever it was they were playing. So, what we learned later in the episode,
she may not have realized. 12. She may not have realized where they were until it was too late. Because she was having a good time too.
Yeah.
And she was like, hold up, I know who we are. Don't go in there. It's too late.
Caroline, don't go into the light.
Right, because you know what? now that you think about it, now that I think about it, now that we're talking about it, yeah, why were those kids playing so close to the woods anyway?
Well, they know not to go in there.
It's kids.
It's kids.
You tell them not to play over there. They play by the line to see.
You're right.
I bet a few times they was like, go over the line.
Put a toe
Okay,
over.
count to 10. Come back.
I double dare you. I double dog dare you.
Yeah, right. So
those old people crazy. They
right,
know what
we
they're
don't
talking
know.
about. They don't. They just don't want us to go in there.
Right. But
yeah.
So Francis enters the woods by himself, and all of a sudden he's scared. And I was like, dude, that moment that you walk in and you feel like something ain't right, again, this is the moment for you to turn around and run.
He don't got the fight or flight.
He obviously does not. He sits there, he sees something off in the distance moving, and he's still sitting there looking like he's trying to figure out, like, you could see it was the guy from the carnival, and maybe he was just like, is that really what I said? Dude, you know what? Haul ass, you can figure that out later. That's all I'm saying.
Or never, just go.
The dude starts coming at him, and he's like disappearing and showing up behind different trees. Francis picks up a stick and he's like, leave me alone. I was just like, Francis was about to die. He was about to.
Wrong move.
I really thought this kid was about to die. I was like, oh, y'all about to start another episode off with children dying. Okay, whatever. So the thing gets in front of him, scares him, and they take off running. Francis is running like a little kid runs. Nothing weird about that. This thing starts picking up speed.
When they went to all fours, she in trouble, dude.
Dude.
Molly, you in trouble, girl.
Thank you. I was about to say, Molly, you in danger.
I'm in trouble because I was like, nope. Pause. I was like, nope. I can't. Something about creatures that run like that. I can't know, because if there's no chance of me outrunning them, I can't do it. That's the part of horror that I was like, you know what? I can't deal with this. It started with World War Z for me when I saw all those zombies running at full speed. Then I think that was part 2 that he did it in, the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise, when he was in the basement with the water, the eyes here, and then he comes. No, I had nightmares for a week after that. So this was no better. And then, like you said, he gets on all fours, and no, the fuck. And then not only that, his face starts changing. The teeth start coming. He has the piranha teeth. No, these people need to go to therapy who dream this stuff up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, the thing is slobbing. He's like drooling. He's about to. No.
Now y'all talking about, okay, I can eat through all these episodes, but that's the one thing I'd be like, okay, I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
She gonna be like this. I'm disgusted.
Right. Nah. It be the drool. I'm gonna be like this.
Disgusting.
The drool start happening. I don't really like drool though. I still don't. I'm still gonna eat.
Y'all just don't understand. I put my food down. I think she'll be like, I'm munching away.
But the drool, that is the disgusting thing for me with him, because even in the movie, which is different from the television series, is that extra with the drool, because it's like it just to me describing like he really is so hungry, like he can't even control it. And he's ready to chomp down on them.
Anytime it has to do with the saliva, spit, whatever, like Marion Sinners, no.
Well, that's a different type of drool, but we're not talking about that drool.
You want some, baby? No, I don't. Oh my God. That was the most disgusting thing.
So this thing, like, Francis runs up under a log, this thing and again, the way that this thing moves, it's not even just that he's funny, just that he's running fast. It's the physicality of the way this thing moves. It's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, if I saw something like that running towards me, I'm done. I'm gonna blank out right there in the street. when y'all awake me, y'all are gonna have to take me to a mental hospital or something, because my brain will not compute
Yeah.
if I were to see something like that.
I think it's cool. You can kind of tell that he hasn't really had contact with people because it hadn't quite figured out how to hunt. It's still real physical and not really mental.
Yeah.
Like he took the form of something the boy was afraid of, but he wasn't manipulating him like he manipulates people. It was real primal.
Yeah.
And he took the form of something he was just recently afraid of, not something that's been traumatizing him for life. Because like with the other kids, it was they would always be something that has been bothering them forever.
Yeah, he could pull from your past.
Yeah.
Your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. But
he was hungry.
Yeah. And this was also
you're right, it is
earlier.
probably starving too, because the indigenous people are keeping everyone out of there. So
yeah. That is true.
But luckily for Francis, he has an indigenous friend, because just as this thing is about to chomp down on him, we see it get hit in the face, the other eye, actually, with a rock from the slingshot. And Rose is like, come on, let's go, let's go. So they're running out of the forest. He keeps looking back. She said, don't look back.
Don't look back.
He's looking back. What's, dude? First, she told you not to go into the woods and you went. Now she's telling you don't look back. You keep looking back at this thing. So when it blacked out, I was like, oh, he's dead.
He did.
Luckily he wasn't. But then the creepy song comes on. And I think we touched on this in the last episode, but we didn't really get to it. First of all, I need to know if this was an actual song. I didn't get a chance to look it up because we just got back from Conjuration. I've been busy. But I need to know if this is an actual song, or was this a song that only made for this show? Because
what is it? Something in Ribbon? What is it?
A Ribbon in My Hair by Prudence and something, I think. But
Smile in a Ribbon. Patience and Prudence. Oh, it's a real song.
Oh, is it? From when?
From 1956. Which tracks? Their songs are all creepy because they put them in all the horror movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with these folks. Why are they making these creepy songs? Because if you make a song and somebody says, oh, this is perfect for a horror, ma'am,
that's a problem.
It's psychological because it's not a scary song, but when you put something that sounds sweet and childlike to something this graphic and horrible, because like perfect example, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. It's a freaking nursery rhyme.
Yeah,
come on, that's psychological warfare.
Where'd you get those peepers?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Or the other one, the other one for one of his movies is "Did you ever see a dream walking?" Well, I did, and I'm like, come on, man, come on, like y'all tripping, you know.
But there's something about even the way that this song is sung. It just seems like it's a creepy song. Like it does. Like when I first heard it, even before I saw the graphics that accompany it for the opening sequence, because you have all of these little old timey graphics, cartoons with the kids in the little old fashioned underwear, and they're like swimming in the swimming hole, and you've got the one kid that's about to have his brain lobotomized, and you've got the little. You've got the eyes in the shadows in one, and then you've got Pennywise hanging on the building in the other. I was like, even before you see the graphics, if you just hear the song, I'm like, If I were to hear this song playing just out in the open, like if I go outside right now, or if I go somewhere, if I go to a carnival, they do a lot of the street carnivals here. They do a lot of the parking lot carnivals. If I was at a carnival and I heard this song, I'm turning around going home. I don't care how much money I've spent. I don't care if I still have tickets in my pocket. I'm going home.
Yep. I remember when I first heard the first few notes, I was like, skip. We good. I don't need that nightmare.
Right. Yes, that's when the skip intro button becomes very attractive. And I mean, I listened to it the first time, but I was just sitting there looking at it like, wow, is this a real song? Like, I don't know. It does sound, I mean, because all she's talking about is, her pretty dress and her ribbons and her hair. But then when you look at the graphics behind it, it's like, no. No. But later on in the episode, we find out that this kid, Francis, is actually the general, the Air Force general that, basically is the one that is looking for it, which now I guess makes a lot more sense because we talked about in the last episode, like, if you don't know what you're looking for, you need to maybe leave things alone. But obviously he knows that there's a monster around somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's using Major Hanlon and Dick Halloran to locate this thing. Now, here's the other crazy part of this episode. Because as we learned in the last episode, Halloran has brain damage from an old war, injury. And
Hanlon, right?
What did I say, Halloran?
Yeah, I know. Okay, it is weird because they're both Hanlon and Halloran. They're both right.
Yeah,
I know it gets complicated.
So basically, Hanlon feels no fear. So they're about to assign him to take Dick wherever Dick feels like he needs to go. And they say basically, Dick Halloran is your compass. You're going to fly him wherever he says to fly you. Now, this is the thing that was bothering me about this. Hanlon knows that they are looking for a weapon. He knows that it is a weapon that is rooted in fear or that uses fear against people. And that's why they want him to be the one to go help them get it. Okay, that's fine. You have no fear. Chances are Pennywise is not going to affect you, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's what Pennywise feeds on, fear. Halloran, he's the one with the shining. He has the psychic ability. So he can probably see the bad stuff that's going to happen before it happens. Okay, fine. Y'all got Riley, ignorant self, just happy-go-lucky. I'm here for the ride, whatever. Have y'all even told this man how dangerous this is that y'all got him flying shotgun on? Have y'all
or tell him he ride or die. He gonna go wherever Hanlon go.
And die being the operative word, because this tells me that, like, in this equation, in this trio, he is the one that's going to end up dying. He didn't in this episode, but he probably will later on because he's the only one that's uninformed.
Yeah.
Well, but he will go into a situation swinging, and then he'll ask him, "Okay, what was up with that?"
He got that Napoleon complex. That's why. He's tiny. He a tiny man, and he think he bad.
Yeah, he's the type that'll the meme, like the meme where you call your friend and, hey, I need you to do something with me. We're gonna go somewhere. We're gonna do something. What car we taking? That's the kind of friend.
Yeah, you can never ask me. You can never ask me about it again. Yeah, the Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner one. Yeah, I guess so. But I was feeling some kind of way about that. I was like, this man is going off on this mission. He has no idea what to expect. Like, Hanlon, he just knows something weird is about to happen. Okay, because you took him to the dig site. They dug up a car with bodies, and it is the car that we talked about from the original It story, the gangsters that the townspeople shot up. It is that car. But I was feeling some kind of way, and then they get up in the airplane, and the general had actually given Halloran a box, and it was, I didn't know what was in it. I was like, okay, there's something having to do with whatever happened when he was a kid, because at that point I had figured out that he was the kid without them saying that he was the kid at that point, because we don't find that out for sure until later on. But when they get up in the air and Halloran has the box, you already see he's reacting to it. Like, his hands are shaking and he hasn't even opened the box yet. Leroy and Riley, his name is Riley, isn't it?
No, Polly.
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 So Leroy and Polly, they're talking to each other, trying to figure out what's going on. They were like, "This is weird. Like, we don't have a heading. We're supposed to treat him like a compass. This is weird." And so they keep looking back at Halloran, and they're looking at his behavior. So when Halloran finally opens up the box and sees the slingshot, he touches the slingshot and he goes into like this trance state. At least that's the way it looks to Leroy and to Polly. But he is actually, I don't know if he's having a vision, if he's entering the mind of, like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, obviously something is happening. And then he, as Michelle said earlier, he goes into Pennywise's house. He enters the sewers. He sees the old circus car with Pennywise's name on it. And then the door to it opens. And you hear this voice saying, "Who are you? Why are you
Okay,
here?"
so before we continue, I have a few things to say. One, I kind of figured it was the slingshot in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the slingshot actually kind of looks like a divining rod.
Mm-hmm.
So that was give you a clue that he kind of was going to give them the direction.
Okay.
And three, I'm kind of mad at Leroy because Leroy kind of knows he's sort of special. That Dick is special. Mm-hmm. And if they tell you just go where he tells you to go, you don't have any fear. So what are you concerned about?
But right. I don't think he really knew it at this point. Yeah, I think he may have had some suspicions.
He has some suspicions.
But they hadn't really had much interaction up to
right.
this point.
But he's smart enough to know if this is what you already suspect, and they tell you just go wherever he tells you go. He's like your compass. Then you should be able to put 3 and 2 together and get 5.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
He definitely knew that whatever it was something, like you said, that he didn't have the fear for it to affect him. So whatever it was going to be dangerous enough for him to. But he want to be on a mission because he's a G-man. He wants to go and he wants to be a part of this. This is his career. This is his livelihood.
Yeah.
Just
I don't think even if he was scared, he would still go.
He was following the orders.
No, because then he was like, okay, well, we going back because he's irresponsible.
Well, but then you know what? They should have told him that Dick does that when he in a trance.
Because
he was not really.
They said to follow him.
Tell him to follow him.
But when you're in a trance and you're unresponsive.
Is he sick?
Yeah. Like is he sick or
is he having a seizure? I don't know.
Okay. And the final thing I'm going to say is Dick must not really know a lot of this stuff because it looks like he should have been able to tell where he was, because it looks like the cistern. It looks like the sewers. But I don't think he actually says it was the sewers. He doesn't actually report where he is because he basically knows where the thing is now.
Yeah, but you don't know where. But that is true. I thought the same thing. Like, why don't you tell them that he was in the sewers?
Yeah.
But I think with everything that was going on,
he wasn't paying attention.
Once he got found out and can feel the energy from Pennywise, he was done. He didn't probably remember he was stepping in water.
And I'm not gonna lie.
He just know the fear. He knows what he felt.
Yeah.
And
they kind of forget sometimes some of the details.
Yeah. Until I didn't even know what a cistern was. I had never heard that word before. But in Destiny, there's a map where there's a cistern, and it's actually like this, but it's outside. But I never put 2 and 2. I would have never figured that's what they called it in the sewers.
Yeah.
So I could see how he may not have been really knowing where he was, but it does kind of look like a sewer, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But also, too, if he's thinking like, I don't know, because once he gets down there and like you said, it speaks to him. We already see he's panicking. Then he starts seeing the visions that we've seen in the previous 2 movies with all of the things kind of going towards the top, and you see the bodies floating. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he hears his grandmother's voice, and she was like, Dickie,
Get the
he's
hell
coming
out
for
of
you.
here.
Get out of here.
Get the
And he
hell
tries
out
to
of here.
leave. I think at that point, he probably knew where he was, but I think the fear may have overtaken him because at this point on the plane, he's trying to walk off the plane. He is literally opening up the back of the plane. He's trying to step off. Pennywise, I think at that moment, scared him so much that he was like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm about to jump off this plane, but he wasn't aware that he was doing that.
I think
And
Pennywise
then
was making him do that.
I think part of that
I think that he was in the trance and he was trying to get out the sewer.
Yeah.
He wasn't paying attention. See, that's why you don't have people go through the trance in a moving vehicle.
They should have strapped him down.
Because sometimes they get up and start walking and moving around. That's exactly what he did. But he was about to walk right on off that plane.
And again, that goes back to the general.
Because he's in the
told your pilots what to expect
that couldn't happen. Because he
like,
was in there. His grandma saying go, and he went to go. He trying to do this, and as he doing that, he pressing the button.
But then also the other thing about it too is what he tells the general later on when he's in the hospital. He told the general, he said he knows that, you know, we're here. He wasn't supposed to see us. Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing that really, really scared him because as far as Dick is, as far as he knows, he's supposed to just go in, observe, and be able to give them the information. But Pennywise knows that they're looking for him now. And they'll tell him what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
see, I feel like Pennywise was in his head and not the other way around.
Yeah. I think once he had that connection.
When he started looking, Pennywise was like, let me see what this is.
Yeah.
And was in his head.
I think they both together, but you think you sneaking in something and you woke him up too. Because he was like,
yeah,
hey, somebody in my house. Someone's in my house. Yeah. There's a stranger in my house.
Yeah.
Because he asked them, who are you?
Who are you? Like, how you could do this?
Because it was a different level of interaction. It wasn't a physical human interaction. So Pennywise was like, oh, Shawty, you got a little psychic something too. Oh.
Yeah, and then he started peering in his brain.
He's like, I can have a little fun with you.
You looking for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I found you.
Yep. And it's cool that, you know, his grandmother, Dick's grandmother, in The Shining, he talks about how his grandmother and him used to have conversations without opening their mouths. And in The Shining, spoiler, Danny's imaginary friend is actually himself from the future.
Yeah, from Dr. Sleep, right? Like from later. Okay.
Right. And so I'm thinking that this is his grandmother actually from the past talking to him, trying to guide him and help him.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was thinking, like, you know how I know this is a weird correlation, but in Inception, when they had totems that brought them back to the real life, like I felt like his grandma is the totem that was in his mind whenever he went too far. He was thinking his grandma to bring him back in. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
But it makes sense that if she's her whisper, her echo is still there. She's keeping him, you know,
together.
Keeping him safe.
I don't need no piece of none of this where you see me, I see you. No, I don't see you, you don't see me, we don't see each other.
Right.
Because that you can't get that out your head.
Nope.
You can't. No. Like you in the dark, the eyes just glowing. Okay, I'm good.
I was like, the deadlights.
Right. And now you never know when he's like, if he has that connection with you now, that means that unless you die, that connection is not going to be severed. So now anytime Pennywise want to see what's going on, he can be like, hey, what's up? No.
Luckily for him, he has no interest in adults.
But you can still use him and come to him as his grandpa.
Yeah.
You know, and it too, he did use an adult and him slap up in public.
And he also got into
the guys, because the couple and the guy that got beat up, they were getting beat up. and they threw him over into the river.
Oh,
And all that fear, Pennywise was like, "Oh, until I get to some children, this is a snack.
Good appetizer."
Right. So I mean, he ate the whole side of his body while his husband watched on the side, and then threw red balloons everywhere.
Yeah, damn red balloons.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, this dude was about to walk off the plane or about to fly out the plane because they were still in the air. Holly's sitting up front, panicking.
Right. Why did he just go back there like faster? Like, that's the part I didn't understand. Y'all saw this dude walking around in a trance. Y'all should have went back there way before.
Yeah. But then
there's a moment
we also don't know how much time elapsed.
Well, it also has to register with you. There's a moment where you're looking like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
It takes a minute for it to register.
Is he drugs? Yeah. Like what? Because before he was shaking in his seat, and next he walking out of the plane. I'm a little confused.
Yeah. But Leroy gets him and he kind of shakes him out of it. And Halloran is sitting there looking like, what the hell just happened? Oh, that's not good, you know? And then and then the general goes to visit him in the hospital and he was like, "Oh, you did good." And he was like, "Dude, no, I didn't. He knows we're on to him. He knows." Like, this wasn't how this was supposed to be. Because I don't know what's gonna happen with this character. I haven't seen the 4th episode yet, but you gotta think that he feels like a target. Because when the general says, "So you saw him," he was like, more like he saw me. Like, Dick was not in control of that situation at all.
That's one of them stand up on the hair, stand on your back of your neck. He saw me. That made my hair stand up.
Right. But the funny part about it is I like it when the general is getting ready to leave. He was like, "If there's anything I can do for you, let me know." And he's like, "Oh, by the way, my friends and I, we've had a shitty tent that water keeps leaking. We want somewhere to go hang out." And he was like, "Okay, yeah, I see what I can do." I was like, "Okay, you know."
I don't know what he tell
Don't you ever put your
like, if I'm gonna be risking my life to find this supernatural entity for you, the least you can do is give me a place to hang out with my boys where the rain won't be falling in on us. I mean, I think you could ask for more, but
right.
I think it's fair.
I think it's fair.
It's fair.
I almost died, so I should get a hub out of it. So
and you didn't say anything.
Yeah. Right. You say anything. And I always have it ready. See, I always have it ready for the day I make a good connection.
Yeah. And he tells the general, he was like, "Look, I have a feeling this is something we shouldn't be doing. We need to just let this thing be." The general just looks at him and turns around and walks off. I was like, dude.
My question is, I just wonder, so he has this thing he knows is this scary thing from when he's a kid. He wants to weaponize it. How are you going to put it in a jar? Like, how are you going to weaponize it, sir?
But
I think he don't really actually remember exactly what it was.
He didn't remember. So it starts when he got closer to there. It did. So because he literally just remembered her name when he walked into the antique shop.
To the thing, right?
But also because he got the cease and desist letter, her name was on it.
And then it like things popped in his head there. And that just take you back to all the other even TV series and movies. Like, people have a feeling about Derry. Like, I don't remember, but something is there. And
because we even see that in the flashback when they were kids, because his dad was also military. And they're sitting by the stream or whatever. He's looking sad, and she says, "Why do you look sad?" He said, "My dad got his deployment orders. We leave in the morning." And they had been friends all summer. He was like, "Promise me you won't forget me." And she said, "Francis, you don't know this yet, but Derry has a way of making you forget." So she even knew that at that age. She was like, "It's not going to be about me forgetting you. When you leave, you're going to forget me." And then when we see him walk into the antique shop And he says to her, what did he say? You got anything for a nickel? She turned around. She was like, oh, Francis. And he was like, it's the strangest thing. He was like, I didn't remember any of it. Any of it until I walked in here. And she was like, what do you remember now? He was like, I remember bits and pieces. I remember that we were friends. I remember, I guess the scary part, I don't think he really said it. I think he inferred to it. And she said, I didn't think you would remember my name. He said, I didn't until I got this. Yeah. And it was a cease and desist letter because the whole indigenous community, they're having meetings because they're like, the military is digging up our stuff. Like, we need to stop them. They think it's just about them appropriating the land. They don't realize that he's actually looking for something, but she is kind of like, y'all might need to leave this alone. So her suggestion is do a cease and desist letter, start off that way. And then if we got to go do other things, then maybe we do other things.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking he remembers the feeling. He remembers it's something, but I think he's decided that it's like a device that they're trying to find or something like that. I don't think he remembers that it's an actual monster. You know what I mean? So I think that part of his memory is being suppressed. But I think the more he investigates, the more he'll remember.
I wonder, did he remember that the slingshot was in the cigar box that he gave Halloran, or did he just know it was something that was connected to Pennywise, and maybe he was too scared to open it?
I think he kind of remembered that the slingshot was important.
Okay.
But he may not be able to say why. He knew that it was something that could help.
Because I was going to say, if
it was something that scared the mess out of him. Yeah. He does remember that. Because
he wants to use it as a weapon.
Right. Because it's a weapon. Yeah. And we need someone who has no fear, because he remember how afraid he was during that time.
But we know, even from it and even in the book, it's not that the memories aren't there. The memories are there.
They're just suppressed.
They're just suppressed. Yeah. So some things are going to leak through, like feelings are going to leak through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he may know it is important. He may not remember why or how, but he knows that whatever this is, they can use it to help us find what we're looking for.
Right. And he also knows enough to know he needs to lie to her, because she's asking him, she was like, what are you doing out there on our land? He said, oh, we're doing soil surveys. And she was like, y'all digging up unmarked graves. I'm going to need y'all to leave that alone.
Yeah, because I think she knows more than what she's telling.
Well, now that he knows, who she is, he definitely knows she knows more. Yeah. Because she warned him about going in the forest. So she knew something was in there. So
I think the more he starts remembering, I think at that point he'll probably be like, you need to tell me what is this thing?
Yeah, and I think at some point, like the Losers Club, all his memories are going to come back, and he's going to remember everything at some point.
Yeah,
because probably it's like longer they had forgotten. Yeah, because a lot of them have forgotten a lot of what happened. Yeah, and then when they got together, they remembered everything. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Right, to him. And the only person who in the movie, I don't know if that was in the book, Ben remembered the feelings, because you know what, he still had the signature from Beverly from the yearbook in his wallet. So he was in love with her. Right. So you remember her and how he felt, but not all the other.
Yeah, that's just like what Francis told Rose in this one. She said, what do you remember? He said, I remember my father's base. I remember something else. He said, but most of all, I remember you. So, yeah.
So I thought about this, and because we're talking about like how Derry affects people. Do you think that Hanlon's wife is immune to it, and that's why she's so like gung ho and like hard hitting with everything, that she's kind of immune to it?
Well, she's not from there. I think it probably affects the people who are from Derry more than it affects outsiders.
And it may take some time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because she's just got there. Right.
She just got there. But Francis was there, what, a summer, maybe a little bit longer. We only see the summer that he spent with Rose, but we don't know how long he was there before he and Rose became friends. So
also he was a kid, and we know that it likes children.
Yeah.
A lot more than adults.
Yeah. But speaking of Hanlon's wife, later on in the episode, and this is so weird because Halloran is apparently invited to dinner, and I was like, that seems odd.
After they shared this whole weird flight, and
he saved his life.
Yeah. And it still, I don't know, it still felt very awkward.
I felt like it was like they both Black, they both in the military doing this secret thing that they can't really talk about. And I felt like it was like he was probably curious about him.
So who invited who? Did Leroy invite Dick?
I would assume so, since it was at his house.
Because if Leroy invited, well, I was wondering if Leroy did or if she did, but I'm assuming Leroy did, because I think he was doing it as like intelligence gathering.
That's how I feel too.
Because he wanted to know what is happening.
But it still felt weird. It was still weird to see them like.
Probably because Hanlon was suspicious.
Yeah.
And then Dick made it even worse because Dick then outs himself.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he already knew he was a little wonky woo woo in the head, but then he outs himself talking about his kid, and he like, I ain't told you about my kid.
Right.
You know, so I think he has a little like, what's up with this brother? Because something wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, the whole exchange was awkward because, like you said, Leroy was obviously sitting there doing some reconnaissance. He was like, okay, I need to figure this out. I need to figure out what was going on. And Halloran he was a little too chipper, like he was putting on too much for the wife. And I was just like, dude, you are coming across so unnatural right now. Like, but I guess she wasn't paying attention to it, or she was just like, okay, y'all got something weird going on. It must be, military related, whatever. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna do this. But their conversation when they get outside, and Leroy's looking at him, he was like, yo, I never told you about my kid. Oh, I must have heard it on the base. He said, nah. He said, right before you said that, I felt something a little weird in the back of my brain. I was like, that has to be that brain damage, because who else is going to pay attention to something like that happening right before? He was like, yeah, I felt something weird. And I kind of knew this is where this was going to go. He said, I felt that one other time when I got attacked. You were there, weren't you?
Right. So like you will remember that, because you'll be like, okay, something going on in the back of my spine. One other time when and then I felt it again around. Hey, you must have been there too.
So that's what
because you know how to get into the brain.
Dick was digging in there trying to read his mind.
He said usually when someone is being attacked or about to die, they have all these thoughts going through your head. He said, I checked you out. You have nothing.
He said you were calculating everything.
Right. What color boots I had on.
Right.
What my shirt color, how many buttons I had buttoned up. I mean.
And it makes sense now that he knew the exact weapon, because even the general was like, you got a good eye for detail, because he was sitting there calculating. And Hanlon's like, is this gonna be a problem? No, dude, I've been in your brain. We ain't gonna have no problem.
We ain't got nothing.
He was like, this is not FAFO, but if I'm in the trenches, you are the person I want to have with me.
I know that's right.
I was like, they came to a real clear understanding right there on their porch. Like, Hanlon was like, look, don't be digging in my head no more. And
they should have just, at that point, they should have just been honest with each other. I don't know why they went through that whole machismo bull crap. They should have just been, look, brother, we got to have each other's back.
Because it's still what year is this? 1962? Yeah. So they still got to put on them airs, but at least Halloran was like...
And Halloran is enlisted, and he's an officer, and they don't usually hang out together.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. But at least Halloran was like, yeah, I've peeked inside your brain. I know you ain't nothing to fuck with. We good. We cool.
Think about how scary that is, though, to go in there and see that this man ain't got no fear.
None.
Like, he didn't even think about his family. He didn't think about none of that. He like, okay, if I if I hit right here on this kneecap, if I do
Right.
He's like, this guy's about 5'11".
Yeah,
right.
Pounds. This guy, he's left-handed. This one's right-handed.
He got about 3% body fat.
Right. That is scary.
And they swinging a steel pipe at your head, and that's what you're thinking about,
right?
Because I have that scene on in the background. Hanlon is looking at Halloran, just real matter of fact, and Halloran looks scared.
Yeah,
like, yeah, what you about to ask me? I don't think he was expecting Hanlon to come straight out, and be like, yo, you was messing with my brain. He was like, what is that? And then he starts talking about, he was like, my grandmother said is seeing something before seeing something. He was like, I know I sound crazy. He said, dude, I'm from southern Louisiana. We know about them kind of people there. He was like, I've just never met one. But
and then he wasn't mad that Dick was there.
Right.
While he was getting beat up.
Yeah.
So he took a whole analytical approach to that whole situation.
Yeah. Leroy
like, you asking about my son,
Hanlon,
you gonna be a problem?
ain't nothing to mess with.
Hey, you can fight.
Right.
Ooh.
He can fight, he can fly a plane. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like, we were trying to wonder at the beginning. I was like, I just don't know what his story has to do with any of this. Okay, so now I see, because right now he is probably the only thing that can get to and not be affected by Pennywise because of the no fear.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, things didn't work out quite right because.
No, well, yeah, that's true. We know.
Yeah.
We know Dick make it out alive, because he makes it all the way to Dr. Sleep, and don't ever talk about, because he probably don't remember.
Oh, I was like, no, I forgot book and movie are different, because I was like, no, he took an axe to the chest in the movie. Nah. But yeah, you're right.
That's so ridiculous that they changed that.
Yeah. But somebody who does not display that no fear is definitely not his son.
Poor baby.
Because that poor baby.
Adorable though, but they dumb as bricks.
I'm gonna say they're dumb as bricks. They're kids, they're children, they're young.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like,
but hey, Rich was just trying to be a cool wingman.
Yeah, he was.
That's all he was trying to do.
He was.
Oh my god! He's like, yeah, this is what we do. Yeah, that's it. My cousin said, I thought you said your uncle. Yeah, him too. I was like, oh Lord.
I'm just trying to get y'all to sit next to each other. Come on now.
Right. And not only that, he was like, it's hard to make friends. When he said that, I felt so bad for him, because I could understand it. But let's go to the kids, because one, you have Lily coming out of Juniper Hill, and you have Ronnie at school still kind of being the pariah, and some of the kids have actually, what did they call her, that Hatchet Hank? They're like, Hatchet Hank is gonna fry or something like that. And they put it on her locker in red lipstick. So she wipes it off. She goes to the bathroom to wash her hands, and Lily comes in, to try to help her. And Ronnie is like, I don't need your help. I don't need you talking to me. You the reason why my dad is locked up. And Lily is like, so guess what? I told them what happened. They put me back in Juniper Hill, just like I told you they would. Yep. She was like, but if I gotta go, she's, and she tells her, she was like, yeah, it happened to me too. She was like, I saw the pickle jar, I saw my dad, and they're gonna think I'm crazy. She said, but if that's what I have to do in order to get your dad out, I can do that. She said, because they've already put me back in Juniper Hill. So anything that I tell them, they're going to think I'm just crazy anyway. Right. So she has this plan. She's like, they're not going to believe us unless we show them proof. And Ronnie was like, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to get a picture of a demon baby or whatever this thing is? And she has a camera. She's like, we can take a picture of it. And at first I was looking at this, I was like, that is the dumbest idea ever. Like something like that is really going to show up on film, but you never know. So I was like, okay,
they're kids. I mean, you can take a picture of it, you can take a picture of it.
Right. And I mean, you never know, because sometimes it might be the stupidest things that actually gets results, you know?
Like battery acid. He believed it, so it worked.
Well, the thing that I thought about was the fact that she had the little cube flash, and I was like, oh, the fact that I even knew what that was. I'm showing my age. But the fact that she had the flash on the camera, I was like, okay, that might work, because sometimes you see it in other stories or whatever. Those bright lights can cast a glow. So I was like, okay, maybe that'll work. So I don't even remember. Y'all got to refresh my memory, because I've only seen this episode once. How in the world did it come from? Oh, they were looking for someone to develop the film, because they were like, we got to, once we take the pictures, we got to develop the film. We can't just take it to the drugstore, because what are they going to do if the drugstore sees stuff like this? They're going to be like, y'all need to arrest them. Those kids are disturbed. So they go to Will, because they know Will is smart. Or at least Ronnie does. She was like, yeah, so when you were talking about the stink bomb, you was talking about all the chemicals that make the stink bomb. So I figured you would know what chemicals we need to develop film. And then this is where the duo becomes a quartet, because Rich and Will, they take them to the little kitty hideout, which, you know, I was like, I don't know if going to that place is a good idea, because it seems like everybody who goes to the tower doesn't make it past a certain, you know, I don't know. Everybody seems to be dead, or at least the boys do. So, but Rich starts telling them about his uncle, who is a Santeria priest. And he was like, yeah, you know, the thing that you're describing is just, you know, it's an evil spirit. Yeah, we can get rid of it. My uncle used to do that kind of thing. He would cast spells, whatever. Anyway, so they decide, oh, so what do we need to do these spells? I was like, you know what? Because
already, nope.
So this is the main problem I had with that. And this is the main problem I have with children who do this in any other whatever. If this had been the grown-up telling you, okay, this is what I do to expel evil spirits, this is what you need to follow, maybe I could see them trying that. You are taking the word of a guy you just met 30 minutes ago, and you're going to go hang out in the graveyard and summon an evil spirit who may be a demon baby that tore your friends apart while you watched.
Well, he sounded so convincing.
He sounded so convincing.
I know exactly what it is.
It's know what else was convincing? That goddamn demon baby.
But he wasn't there.
That made some black folks mad when he started busting out with it was an Orisha. People was getting mad because they was like, "Don't be using our stuff and blah,
about the Orisha."
I'm like, well, he said the Spanish version of it, like because it's the same. It's the same thing, but it's the Spanish.
It's the same thing, but the Spanish version.
It's the fact that we don't like nobody saying nothing about nothing virus, but he in his mind. Him as this child and watching his family do this practice, this is what it sounded like to him. Yeah. It wasn't them saying, this is what Pennywise is. This is the definition of what Pennywise is. This is a little kid. Just like how, growing up Christian, everything's a demon. It's a demon. It's a this, it's a that.
Yeah.
So
when I saw it and when I heard it, I was like,
Maria.
He didn't say that. But he was, like you said.
Well, Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We saw someone was talking about it in the video how it was that what he was talking about was Orisha, but it was like a combination of a lot of different
Cuban.
religious traditions in
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
same area, in the same
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
So,
But he
and
was just
and the fact that people saw that and automatically went to cultural appropriation, I'm like, guys, is it's not that serious.
yeah.
Yeah.
I understand where y'all are coming from, but you don't have to be that sensitive.
It
Yeah.
wasn't like they
People do
went
their
into a
research.
book and they read a history and it said the history of this creature is this. It's
Mhm.
literally a child just trying to make friends.
And I mean,
Right.
Who just came up with what he
give
heard
them he was
Right.
trying to give them an idea
from a
because they were
cousin.
like, we don't know
And
what
he
it is.
wasn't far
Right.
off with like the scariness of it. It's I
But the
don't know.
people in
Right.
the show did their research because if you do the research, yeah, it's not cultural appropriation. It's a part of the culture. Like too
Yeah.
much. I'm sorry. They was the discourse online was too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was too much.
But I
He
mean,
just wanted to make it where his friend could sit next to the girl that he liked.
Right. That's it.
That's all he
That
wanted
is
to
it.
And
do.
if they happen to get rid of the old Risha or whatever he thought it was, right? They're good.
But
right. The
again,
evil spirit.
he really had no idea what they were talking about
No, he
because
didn't.
he hadn't experienced it yet. So he's just like, yeah, that's what it sounds like. Okay, in his mind, he's like, I can make
Yeah.
this work.
And
Yeah.
I can
even
make this work.
Will, because when he asked Will, he was like, you really believe what they're saying? He said, I believe that she believes it.
Mm-hmm.
Good
So
friend.
yeah.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay,
I'm gonna go with it.
I got a ritual we can do. We're gonna have to sit together in a circle. Okay. No,
Okay.
and we got to hold hands, right? And close
Oh
our
no. And
eyes.
then when Lily says, maybe we should turn our backs to each other so we can see. Oh yeah, my uncle said to do that. Dude, then why weren't y'all doing that? Oh, I gotta go take a leak. I thought we
You said
weren't
we couldn't
supposed to leave the circle. Oh, but I'm coming right back, so we'll be okay. They're like, hold up, something ain't right about this.
Right.
My cousin said it was okay. I thought you said your uncle told you this. Well, yeah,
see.
well, my uncle told my cousin, and my cousin told me, dude, we're not playing telephone with summoning demons or spirits in the graveyard. No.
Again, he didn't know what they really were talking about. And two, he just wanted his friend to sit next to the girl that he liked.
Yeah. It was just
Wingman.
Jared being cheering.
Right.
Listen. But when they start doing this whole thing and he starts doing the little prayer or whatever, I was like, you know what? This is not going to end well. I was really expecting
For
another
real.
bloodbath because I was like, this is just like kids who play with a fucking Ouija board. Like, you
That
don't know
Yeah.
what you are summoning. And unless your name is Sam and Dean Winchester, you need to leave it alone.
I could really see Pennywise just off to the side going, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, let's see where this goes.
And that's one of the things this weekend at Conjuration, my friend Don did like haunted like locations panel.
Mhm.
And one of the things we talked about is when it's a child spirit, rarely is it ever really a child spirit. And they done sat up there and conjure something, because what if they conjure something on top of Pennywise? Doubles. Oh my
Right.
God. Oh my God.
And it's bad enough. So of course Ronnie and Lily, they realize that the guys don't really believe them, that they're just doing this to, humor them or whatever. They get mad and they take off. Now, once they take off on their bikes, just even looking at the way they're moving, I was like, something ain't right. When they went past that statue on the tombstone, the statue went, I was like, nope.
That was so
It's
goofy,
over.
though. It's so goofy.
No, because even the expression that thing had, he was like, yeah, no.
I was getting ready to open the betting line to see which one we get out alive. I said, well, I know Will is safe.
Right.
That's the only
one that we know.
That is the only one. He is
And
marked safe.
Maybe Ronnie's the mama, and maybe she's safe because she the mama later on in life.
I wondered that too, but I was like, I don't know. But okay, Is Rich somebody that we know from later on with the Losers Club? Because he reminds me of a character, and I cannot think of who the character is.
I don't think so.
Okay, because he reminds me of somebody,
there was
but
anybody of Cuban descent in the original Losers.
yeah. But you
yeah.
know, so the girls are leaving, and the guys, they're like, you know, Will kind of confronts him about, you lied. He was like, look, it's hard to make friends. I was just trying to make friends. I was trying to be, he was trying to be a good friend, which I get. But again, stop doing things that you don't, anything having to do with spirits, leave it alone. Don't do it. So
and let's not be out here at night next time. How about that?
Correct.
Let's talk about this. There is a curfew in Derry.
Yeah.
We saw it on the front of the school when they break into the school later on, but there is a curfew in Derry. Why are your parents not driving around looking for y'all at night?
Because they did that thing that kids do. I'm gonna spend the night over so-and-so house. Oh, I'm gonna stay over so-and-so house.
But see, here's the thing.
They said, I'm going to bed, and they said, okay. And then that was it.
No one checked on anybody. They've been gone the whole day from school. So this is where
they went home and checked in though.
No,
don't know that space and time.
Because Hanlon told Halloran that he was spending the night with his friend. So he definitely.
But this is where the disconnect comes from me, or the disbelief, because your daddy in jail and with your the grandmama you got at home, Ronnie shouldn't have been out that house. And especially not going to spend the night with Lily, because that Lily is really the only person who's speaking to her.
Yeah, but she is, you know, grandma went and sat in that chair and fell asleep.
Yeah. And Lily mama probably at work.
Right.
Okay, Lily's mama, I can probably
but I'm serious. Grandma is in that chair done. She read her Bible verse and she laid on that sofa with her blanket.
She washed her ass.
And Ronnie said, good night, Granny. All right, love. All right, don't stay up too late. And she knocked out. She has no idea that girl is gone.
Okay.
They had no idea the girl was gone the other night when she went to the theater.
They did it.
That's true.
Okay.
But and it was just the grandma then too, because the daddy
went.
It's in the episode. He said they saw him walking around.
Oh, okay, walking around. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You don't remember?
Yeah, I was thinking you about to say something else.
Oh no. They saw him. The sheriff said that we got witnesses that saw you walking on the street.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, he had the cigarette case, the cigarette thing.
The cigarette, yeah.
But
I'm gonna tell you, I knew what he was doing.
Well,
even before episode 4.
Okay, so again,
I haven't watched the next episode.
No, that's what I'm saying. But again, no one knows what Ronnie doing.
Okay.
Okay, and you want to know why? Because I saw a TikTok. I sent it to you, where the commercials at the end of the evening at 10 o'clock said, "Do you know where your kids are?
Your kids are?
You know where your kids are."
We talked about that this weekend too.
Do you
I think we mentioned that during the Stranger Things panel that we did.
A long time ago we did, but I just saw another where someone actually showed the footage of the different stars saying it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
Yeah, I remember that, but
because like by 11 it was
and
it was no more TV.
It was static, yeah.
But I'm still concerned at 10 o'clock they don't know where none of their kids are, which is at a gravesite running from ghosts with the camera, who I would have never taken any picture because I was like, I'm not looking for the camera. I see y'all at the house.
Goodbye.
Well,
I'm gone.
For Ronnie, she gotta have the camera. She's trying to make sure her dad gets out of jail, that he's not going, because in this day and age, they're not gonna get one. He's not gonna get a fair trial. 2, they're not gonna let him sit in jail and just rot. They're gonna be looking to kill him. So I can kind of understand Ronnie is like, we need the camera. And also for Lily, because Lily
she has to prove herself.
I need y'all to understand that I am not crazy.
Yeah.
These things exist. So yeah, like I said,
but the other boys, I would have been at home. I'm not looking for no camera in the dark.
You know
The
what?
ghost following me.
I think the boys, it kind of like what Anthony said earlier, I think it was taking them a minute to register what was going on because, again, they weren't believing what Ronnie and Lily told them. They were just like, okay, I think that they believe it. But when they start trying to catch up to them and the ground starts splitting and they realize, they're like, what is going on? What is going on? Then you start seeing the ghosts. You see
the haunted mansion ghosts.
You see Susie and you see Teddy and you see what's his name?
Paul. Phil.
Phil, yes.
Done. I'm on my bike and I'm trying to get out there as fast as I can.
And you got all these ghosts coming at you and you're still trying to take pictures, and then the camera gets stuck in the tree, and then one of them gets the camera out the tree, and then it falls on the ground, and somebody else gets it on the ground, and all the while y'all are dodging ghosts, and y'all are taking off. Y'all are gone. Will somehow crashes his bike into one of the crypts. It's like, how did he do this?
Now that
he ain't the most athletic kid.
Yeah.
So he's
all brains.
He's real scared because he just realized this they ain't lying, and he's like, oh snap!
Yeah,
I'm a man of science, but I want to stop.
You know,
he needed empirical evidence, and he had plenty of it.
But he actually has the camera. He's in the crypt and he sees something move. He takes a picture. And then you kind of see the camera pans out. And I was like, I hope he didn't. And I was like, no, he can't be dead because we actually, he grows up and has
you got to have a kid.
So I was like,
safe.
okay.
Again, Mark safe.
I know. But still, they're doing a good job of scaring me in the meantime. Y'all are giving me enough heart attacks because the other three, they're in the front. They're safe. They've made it across the threshold. And they're like, where is Will?
Where is Will?
I was like, if y'all don't go back in there and get that boy, I don't care how.
I love how Rich was like, oh, he was right behind him. No, he wasn't. He wasn't ever right behind you. You ain't even look.
I think he was because Will started coming out of the crypt. And this was when Rich, his bike was out of control. He was coming down the hill and the camera dropped. Yeah. He told Will to get the camera and he thought Will was right behind him because Will was trying to get on his bike.
Yeah.
He grabbed the camera and then I think what happened was he saw something in his peripheral and he went to go look at it. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I was sitting on my couch yelling at Will. I was like, Will, you are black. We don't go looking for shit. Get out of the graveyard. When I said I was so done.
It's that natural curiosity.
Bruh, ain't that much. But you know what?
And where you going? Where you going?
And you know what? I say this like I wouldn't do it. But you know what? If I was a child,
an only child.
Because when you think about it, when I was that age, 10, 11, 12, whatever, we were doing all kinds of stuff that we had no business doing as kids. Like we had these woods behind my apartment complex, and we used to play in those woods. We used to go through them so much that we had carved up that there was a path. There was a walking path from the front of the apartment complex all the way to the back. We used to go in there. We used to catch snakes. We used to catch praying mantises and black widows and put them in jars and make them fight each other. What? Yes, as an adult, we're like, that was stupid because black widows are poisonous. As a 12-year-old, we're like, that ain't gonna bother me. I'm good enough. I can do this, and we think we are invincible when we are that age. So it's like, even though we're saying this now, it's like, oh, y'all should have had more sense. No, as children, we think we're invincible.
No, however, some of us was scary. And I wouldn't be at no gravesite. So I'm just saying. Because I'd be like, we don't even have to do the seance. I'd be like, I see the ghost already. I'm going home. Everybody all right. See y'all later.
Yeah.
And ride my bike to the house.
You're right.
It's dark out here. I ain't going outside.
I'm not going through no graves. No. No cemetery for me. No. I don't want to do it now. I wasn't doing it as a kid.
So Will finally does come out the cemetery, and then, like I said, they make their way to the school where they break in and they go into the dark room, and they read instructions and learn how to develop film. I was like, okay. So they start developing the film, and the camera actually did capture the images. So you see Phil and you see Teddy and you see Susie, and they're getting excited because they're like, this. And I was like, y'all should not be this excited. Like, I understand you're excited that the pictures came out, but that is a chewed up Susie's face that you're looking at, which was weird to me too, because I was like, they didn't find any bodies. So why were they in the graveyard? That's just something I'm thinking of. Like,
no, that's it messing with.
Yeah,
okay.
messing with them.
Okay. But so they developed those film, and then the last one is the picture that Will took inside the crypt. And when they look at it, the figure inside is kind of blurry, but you very clearly see the two
shape.
eyes.
Yeah.
And they're looking at him, they're like, it's a clown. And I'm looking at that image like, y'all got good eyes, because it didn't really look like a clown to me. It looked like a pair of eyes and fuzzy whatever. It didn't look like a clown to me, but I was like, okay.
It reminded me of the image of like the old school Pennywise when he was a human. That on the real Pennywise was like a human, and Francis saw him sitting on the thing over there, and he with the hair, the wig. It was that old school looking image.
Okay.
And so
the little girl that was dressed up like
the little girl,
whatever it was, little girl, yeah.
Okay.
But either way, that ish was scary.
Yeah. Because I would look at that and I'd be like, okay, you know what? One, we don't need to summon nothing else.
Yeah.
And two, also, again, you are messing with forces that you don't understand. How do you know that whatever that was, y'all left behind in the graveyard? You don't know that. I mean, yeah, there's just, it always bugs me when and I won't even say just kids, when people just take something like that and they're like, oh yeah, okay, so we're gonna do this. Okay, let's go summon this, and let's go do you even know what you're doing? No. So why are you messing with it? Because if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have that experience, you don't know how to control whatever it is you're doing.
Oh yeah, don't read from the book. You know how that works.
Right.
No harms ever come from reading from a book.
Oh, you don't say. But I mean,
I just feel like for them though, it's just because he didn't believe when he was telling them, let's go do this, he didn't believe it was gonna be a thing. Nothing was gonna happen. And because they didn't even believe them girls. But then the girls were just so desperate, they wanted to try anything. They didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Hanako said, Ronnie wants to prove that her father is innocent, and Lily wants to prove that she's not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So them boys was just like, all right, if y'all say so, crazy girls. But you're cute though.
Right.
And Rich was gonna make it happen. Rich was gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Get your girlfriend.
The thing is, if y'all didn't wake something up before, if something wasn't awakened before, y'all definitely did something now. I mean, again, that's not something you can control. You don't know what followed you out of that graveyard. You don't know what happened in that town now, because you're messing with things that you don't understand.
Yeah.
But even and that goes back to the adults too. The general is sitting here looking for this weapon, right? He knows it's a weapon. He knows it has something to do with fear. The more and more you start to remember, again, you've been going around digging up stuff. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what effect it's having. And if you did let loose something, you're not going to be able to control it.
Contain it, right. The other thing I'm trying to figure out is where are his superiors that they just let him run rampant and do all this stuff?
I mean,
Like, how did he prove to them that he knew for a fact that there was a weapon there where he could use all these resources to go find it? It's crazy to me.
During the 40s, 50s, and 60s, the military was doing everything. This is around the same time men stare at ghosts. They were doing everything. They were doing everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also at that time, if you have someone, what was it that he was telling the guy that was showing him the pictures from the car? He said Halloran's psychic ability has been proven. Like, we know that that is definitely a thing. So whatever they had Halloran doing before, or whatever Halloran was doing before, to put himself on their radar to say, hey, we might need to do something with this guy, was obviously enough for them to say, you know what, we're going to give you run of this town. You do whatever you need to find that weapon. Because again, they're looking for a weapon. They don't know that they're looking for a being. Now, I think that Francis is going to figure that out the more and more he starts digging, especially now that his memory is coming back. He's seen roles. So I think he's going to start remembering more. And at some point, he'll probably be like, oh, wait, I do remember seeing a monster in the woods. Maybe I need to leave that alone. But I mean,
I hope so.
Halloran just gave you a warning. He said, I have a feeling whatever it is we're doing, we should not be doing it because something bad is going to happen. Maybe we need to let this go.
Yeah.
The man, when the psychic is telling you to leave shit alone,
you leave it alone.
You leave it alone.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, back to the why is he doing it? Remember, they're only like 20 years removed from Hitler looking for artifacts and different things across Europe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
And it's been 50 years since he encountered that thing. So his memory is probably really like he don't remember nothing about that situation.
But he knows something is there.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you if a clown walk across his peripheral in the next few days, he's probably gonna be like, "Oh wait."
But I wonder if it's gonna be the toothless man gonna continue to be that though. That's what I wonder.
Probably.
It should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what scared him back then. I mean, I'm sure he's probably seen other things being in the military, but that's a childhood fear. I think, Anthony, you were talking about that earlier. Yeah, this is something from his childhood that he probably never got over.
Yeah, and you remember in the book and the movies, I think he was doing that to the Losers Club as adults. He was bringing back things that they were scared of as children.
Yeah, because he did the blood with Bev. And then Stan was sucking his thumb and doing his ear when he reverted back to those days. And
Bill kept saying Georgie.
Yeah, he kept saying Georgie, stuttering.
He started stuttering.
Richie.
Yep.
Beep beep. Richie. Yeah, let me tell you. I will say this. I really am enjoying the series, but the scares are getting to me. If I see and the thing is, I know this show only has what, 6 episodes in the first season?
Dang.
I think it's 6. We haven't even seen like actual Pennywise yet.
Nope. That's what I was telling you the other day. We have not.
Right.
I know he's gonna pull some weird, scary shit when we finally do see him.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Because I've also seen it, I think, in one of the other promos where he once again does that fast run. I'm no.
Yeah, they keep making sure to put that in the trailers,
and I'm gonna need them to stop. Really I'm gonna need them to stop.
And then you get to the show, and then it doesn't happen. You're like, oh no,
yeah,
it's still coming.
I don't know. The only other thing that we didn't touch on is during the dinner at the Hanlon's house, we do find out a little bit more about Mrs. Hanlon, like the fact that she is actually a teacher. She used to teach in Louisiana. She cannot find a teaching job there in Derry. So some time has to have passed, but she's unable to find a job in Derry, not just because they probably aren't going to hire a Black woman, which is what the implication is, but also because she was part of the civil rights movement down south, and it seems like maybe not in the quite so peaceful way. I don't know. I was kind of getting that vibe from the way they were talking.
Yeah.
Because she had no problems talking about it, and Halloran seemed to be kind of encouraging that. So he was probably also digging in her brain, trying to find out about her. Leroy was just kind of like, we ain't gotta talk about that right now. Like, and that's when I think Halloran starts saying, oh yeah, because she was like, yeah, my husband thinks that kind of talk will, cause him problems trying to advance in the military. And Halloran was like, well, he might be right. And she was like, so y'all see you flyboys is going to be sticking together. Ma'am,
why is she not in the military? Because she just as strong-willed as she want to be.
It's
no.
1962.
That's the reason why she's not in the military.
She ain't gonna follow no directions.
No.
Okay, let's try that again.
No. Because I will say this too.
Bird.
Again, I like the fact that she is strong-willed, but also it makes me worry for her given the time and where she is.
Yeah.
Like, I just really feel like something might happen to her. Because of the fact
she's not setting herself up for success.
And we said that in the last episode too. It's kind of like you keep trying to push the envelope, and right now, 1962, the envelope is not ready to be pushed.
And you just got there.
You just got there.
That's the thing. You just got there. You need to get the lay of the land, find out who your allies are, find out who you can push and who you can't.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't give it. She got to get into the community first.
Yeah.
And the community,
she got that Miss Sophia vibe.
Yeah. And I mean, just even their neighbors, like even when Hanlon was letting Halloran in the house, you got neighbors walking down and they just kind of look at them like,
yeah.
I was like, okay, it's going to come at some point in the next few episodes. So I don't know, because again, I don't remember much about Hanlon's family except for the fact that his parents were dead and his grandfather raised him. I don't think they talked about the grandmother in the original story, right? So they didn't talk about her.
I don't remember.
I don't think so. I'm just, like I said, I worry for her. I like that they're showing her as a strong character, and that's the other thing. Somebody made a post on Twitter, and they said one thing about Stephen King: he loved himself some Black magical people.
Oh, Black magical,
right? They were like, he loves some magical Black people. I was like, okay, I think they were talking about something happening in episode 4, but like I said, I haven't seen it yet. But I mean, even so, the characters that we see so far are all very strong Black characters, but again, it makes me worry.
Yeah.
Because of the time.
But also when in his writing though, so they probably meant that more as a slight, because in his writing, he'll have the characters and it obviously is based on whatever time the time is. But like, for instance, Dick Halloran do kind of got that old shucking and jiving kind of talk, kind of speak. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he kind of has that in those characters from back in the day.
Yeah, his characters are, especially his Black characters.
Yeah.
I appreciate his effort.
Right.
But obviously he didn't go talk to nobody, because even Mother Abigail in The Stand.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about magical Black people.
Yeah.
He tried, so I give him that.
Right. But the thing is, he's from Maine, so he probably
has a different view.
Saw on TV, right? Like Amos and Andy. Like he probably wasn't watching.
Yeah. And I mean, let's be honest, he probably had to fight just to be able to keep the Black characters in his books, because I think I've read that somewhere where they wanted him to change some of the characters. Like, no.
Oh yeah, and Michael Clark Duncan in The Green Mile, another magical black person.
Yeah.
He liked his magical black people.
I can't.
He really did. Again, I applaud the effort.
I remember if there was somebody else, because that's funny.
I was trying
I
to
don't
think
need y'all to pull out no more.
of the other ones from Stephen King, but you know, it is what it is.
That's funny.
I thought during one of the panels we were talking about character, how people were writing representation panel. We were talking about that because I was actually going to talk about the Stephen King thing. That there's certain tropes and certain stereotypes because people were writing what they liked and what they knew.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And obviously he didn't seem like he knew a lot of black people.
Mm-hmm.
But he had an idealized stereotype version of black people.
But you know what? I'm gonna be honest. If I have to choose between magical black people and oppressed black people, I'll go with the magical. I will, because you can only I'm so sick of reading or hearing about the slavery and the oppression and I'll deal with magical black people. I'll take that stereotype.
Yeah. The cool thing about Stephen King is he could do it, and like a lot of other authors who were told not to do it.
Yeah.
So like I said, I applaud the effort.
Yeah. But let's see. I think we touched on everything in this episode. I think the main 3 points are nope.
Nope. And nope.
Children shouldn't play with dead things. I think that was I think that may have been the title of supernatural episode at one point. Don't
trust your wingman. Just go with it. Let's go with it.
Maybe if you want to date a girl, maybe not in the cemetery.
Yeah,
maybe not in the cemetery.
I mean,
and not conjuring evil spirits.
Yeah, at the same time,
Yeah.
Again, Rich was trying to help.
He was. I'm just saying the whole situation was not what it needed to be.
He thought on his feet, like he was fast. Right. He saw opening and he took it immediately. He didn't even think twice.
Because if you think about Phil and Teddy, when Lily went to them at first, they were like, "Nah, we don't think you telling the truth. This is crazy." They were like, "Okay, we believe that they believe it, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. We're gonna be there. We're gonna support them if they feel like this is what they need to do." They were all in. So I mean, I'm cool with Will and Rich because
they're like, cute little babies.
Okay.
But the ladies. I'm sorry, the ladies. I needed y'all to stop and think this plan too. just don't go with it because they said, "I know how to do something." Okay, so let's go to the cemetery.
They were desperate. Both of them have things to prove, and at this point, they probably were like, "What is it gonna hurt?"
Yeah.
I mean,
they came up with the idea.
Yeah, like we've already seen our friends torn to pieces. My dad is in jail. I've seen my dad discombobulated and dismembered in pickle jar. Like they probably were at this point. They were like, "Okay, you know what? Whatever. If it's gonna help us prove our case, we'll do it."
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out the way they wanted it to work out. But they got the pictures. So
they did.
Question was, I was sitting there thinking they fooled with these pictures. They don't know that he could jump out the picture.
And see that's the thing I'm saying, because you can't control it. You don't know what you've unleashed.
Yeah.
So they don't know. Like I said, he could have whatever that spirit is, because you do know that spirits can attach themselves to people. They don't know what they unleashed in the cemetery didn't follow them out.
And maybe that's why the losers did see him coming out of pictures. It's because of what they did. What if it was because of them? Because remember how you said he wasn't strong and then he woke up because Dick was in his head and all this stuff. And maybe What if
These are all.
they?
This is interesting. This is something I haven't encountered before.
Mhm.
And now he has portals.
Mm. Okay, well, yeah, that. No, I'm gonna go back to the original thought. Nope, nope. You guys have any final thoughts on this episode?
Nope.
And on that note, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.